So hiring a VA, before I get started with that, I just want to make sure that before you think about hiring a VA, make sure that you can pay them in a timely manner. This is important, and that you have enough work for them. So are you going to hire them full-time or part-time? So let me hop into this. You can post a job or search for resumes on onlinejobs.ph. This is kind of the website that we recommend. That's where we find all of our VAs at. You can use a different service, but the steps might be slightly different. Some other places, and this might be like if you just need to outsource something. So if you're doing wholesale and you need to build a Shopify website, or if you have like something that you need someone to do, there's FreeUp, which is spelled with 3 E's, Upwork, or Fiverr, which is Fiverr. So those are some other ones to look at. Now to look at jobs and to respond to people on onlinejobs.ph, there is a monthly fee of $60. Now you guys are fortunate. You have the ACE community. So if you're looking for a VA, I would post in the group, so maybe you guys can go in together and save some money. So instead of you having to pay that $60 all by yourself, maybe you can break it up and share that fee with someone else. We had a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to bring people together to help them save money. So never underestimate the way that the Facebook group and your fellow ACE members can help you out. A VA is a virtual assistant. So it is someone overseas that will work for you and do any number of tasks or roles or responsibilities for you. We get most of our VAs from the Philippines. We pay them $2 an hour. As they've been with us longer and they take on more responsibilities, we might pay them more. But it's a way for you to get work done at a little bit of a cheaper rate than having someone from the States. They do any number of things. Like the possibilities are endless. You can have a VA do online sourcing for you, so finding products online. You can have them open up wholesale accounts. So let me go through the process. So they can do a ton of things for you. We will train them for you on some of those items. So you will need to find the VA and hire them, and then let us know their information, and we'll train them for you on certain things. So let me go through the whole process, and then if you have questions, I'll answer those at the end, okay? So with a virtual assistant, they can do OA sourcing, they can do wholesale, they can put together your buy list, they can do some of the logistics thing for you, they can answer buyer messages, they can do negative feedback, they can do your back end. We have some VAs that clients have that are like personal assistants, so they'll email support, they'll get on coaching calls and ask me questions and do different things. So it really depends on the skill set of that VA. So if this is a business that you want to have that can pretty much run itself, then finding a capable, responsible VA might be the answer to that question, so that you can kind of do other things. So if you have a full-time job that you actually like and don't want to leave it, or you have kids, or you want to travel a lot, having this system in place can be what you need to help you get to the next level. The first thing that you do after you get on onlinejobs.ph is find a candidate that you feel would be a perfect fit. So you can go on the website. This is what the website looks like. We did a webinar with the CEO of Online Jobs, John Jonas. It's in the webinars and podcast module if you're interested in that. And what you can do when you're on here is search. So I'm going to search for, it's either FBA or Amazon. Okay, so I just put in FBA, I believe, and I have a whole bunch of candidates. It'll tell you what their salary is, how often they're looking to work, so 40 hours. Now, I said that we start them at $2 an hour, so this is a little bit high. It'll tell you their education, any experience they have, their skills summary. You can view their full profile. No, right here. So 40 hours a week at between $3.64 and between a week. Yep. So if you click on it, you can view their profile. they have like a little skill summary. And John Jonas, who is the creator, said that when they rate themselves on their skill set, they're usually pretty honest about how they do jobs. We found that women are a little bit more detail oriented than men are. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking for a virtual assistant. But I would look through these things, see what they can do before you have that discussion with them. So this is what the just basic, if you're going to look through different applicants, what it looks like. You can also post your own job and have people apply to that. So the second thing that you want to do is, after you found a couple of people, send them an email to have an interview. You can do this via Skype or email. Some VAs may not want to get on Skype because they may be shy or not confident about their spoken English skills. During the interview, make sure that you talk to them about what your expectations are. If you posted your own job, that should have been addressed there, but just make sure that you're covering it. For example, I'm doing job interviews right now, and I had somebody come in. They thought that we were Amazon. They didn't know what the job was for. Like, one of the main things for the job they didn't even like doing. So you want to be clear as possible with them, so that if you hire them, then you don't find these things out later. We do have a set of questions on the website in the members file section if you are completely blank and don't know what you want to ask them. And then please feel free to add more questions that are tailored to that specific job role. When you hire, you want to make sure that you're clear on salary, work hours, and your expectations. So for example, our VAs in the Philippines, they work the same hours that we do. So they are 12 hours, I think, ahead of us, maybe. So right now it is 11:49 a.m. here. It is 11:49 p.m. in the Philippines. So they work the same hours that we do. Our head VA, Gladys, who is amazing and fantastic, she answers our questions. If there's something that I want to show her, or she has a question for me, we can go on Skype. We can do a video call. I can show her how to do something right away. If they're not working on your work schedule, it can take 3 days for you to get an answer to one question. So that's aggravating. So you want to make sure that you have that expectation right off the bat so that there's no confusion. And the work hours, and then what your expectations are. You can train your VA, or we can train them for you. Make sure that you follow up with how things are doing with your business, and give them small tasks at first. And review them to make sure they understand what they're doing. So let me back up and explain all of that. So we do have a service for you that is part of your membership, where we will train the VA for you. The training is between 3 to 5 days. You let us know what you want them trained on. We'll tell you if we can train them on that, or if we can't train them on that. And then they'll start the training process. Our head VA, Gladys, will then give you feedback on how your VA is doing. Now, Gladys is amazing, fantastic. She wants everybody to have a job. So if Gladys tells you that your VA is horrible and not to hire them, don't hire that VA, because you will have to fire them. And last month we had 2 people here that Gladys told them that their VA was bad, and they hired them anyway, and they ended up firing them. So definitely take Gladys's advice, because she's not going to steer you wrong. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, once we train your VAs, they will be familiar with how to use the software, but it is up to you to make sure that they completely understand how you run your business. So we'll train them on how to use the software, but it is your responsibility to train them on the parameters and how you want your business to run. So once we train your VA, don't just have them like, okay, I want you to do this, and like kind of leave them to the wolves. Just make sure that they understand what they need to be doing. Give them that support. Just like you would hire someone at a new job stateside, you want to check on them, make sure they understand. You want to do the same thing with a virtual assistant. And then give them small tasks and make sure they understand them before you give them more responsibility. We have our VAs install Time Doctor on their computer, which is a monitoring software. The way Time Doctor works is that they have to be clocked in to the software in order to be counted as working that time period. Now, while they are clocked into that software, what Time Doctor also does is it takes random screenshots of their computer at set intervals, at random intervals, however. You can set it up how you like. And that way you can see if they are being productive or if they're not doing what they need to be doing. Personally, ourselves, we have had to fire a couple of VAs because they were playing video games, watching movies, talking to boyfriends, or doing other things while they needed to be working. So it's definitely something that you want to be aware of and keep your eye on while you are hiring these people. We pay them using PayPal, friends and family, and we usually start off our VAs with $2 an hour. Some things to consider. If you want them to message people, know how their copy writing skills are. If they're using a template, then it's not an issue. But if you're going to have a VA that's messaging back and forth with people, you just want to make sure that their English is good. I talked about, can they work the same hours as you? So that's fine. You can do training videos on YouTube so that you don't have to go through this process over and over again. Just follow up with questions or any clarification. So I've started doing some training videos. We've been doing them with our VAs for a while, but for some of the roles within the company. So that way if we hire on new employees, all they have to do is go to our YouTube, watch those videos, and then they'll know how to do that information. So let me log into YouTube real quick, and I'll show you guys how to set this up. So what you're going to do is go to Creator Studio. Then you go to live streaming. And this is one of the work ones, so you have to create a channel. And then you go to events. And the first time that you do this is going to ask you to enable live streaming. And then it's going to take 24 hours for YouTube to make sure that your account is active and live. But once you go back to this event page after you have enabled this, then you'll be able to do live streaming. So what I can do is I can record something, I can share my screen, I can show what's going on my screen, kind of like I'm doing for you guys right now and the people that are watching this video. And then what you can do is if you hire someone new and they're doing the same thing, you can just have them watch this video so that you don't have to stop what you're doing and go through the training process again. That way, and they can watch that video, and if they have any questions, they can just ask you that way instead of everyone stopping what they're doing and having to train this person. Another thing is be aware of the 13th month. So this is something that if you hire a VA, you have to know what it is and be prepared for it. So in the Philippines, what they have is the 13th month. This is in December, and all it is a bonus. So as their bonus for the end of the year, they get paid a 13th month worth of salary. So if they're working 40 hours a week, what you would do is you would pay them that amount of money for the full month. So if it's not something that you're going to be able to do, then I wouldn't get a VA because it's something that they're going to be expecting. And then another thing, some people don't like to hire VAs with previous experience because they feel that they may be stuck in their ways, and they might have other Amazon employees. But just be upfront about what your expectations are for that VA. Because sometimes, and this can work either way, prior experience isn't necessarily a bad thing because they already know what to expect and won't quit because the work isn't what they expected. So sometimes we have people that send us their VAs. VAs don't have any Amazon experience whatsoever, and they start to go through the training and then they quit. So then the person has to go through the whole process of finding another VA because the VA that they hired didn't really know what the job entailed. Now, if someone had some experience, they may not be as willing to quit because they know what to expect. So it's kind of something to think about when you're hiring a VA. Are there any questions about this at all? Yes, Reg. We used to. We don't anymore. When did we stop doing that? Couple of Decembers ago. So like not last December, but December before that. So what we used to do is we would find the VAs for you, would train them and give you the VAs. But it was like a wait list because everybody wanted them. People wanted multiple ones, and they weren't supporting them the right way, and it was just a lot of work for us. So unfortunately, We don't find the VA for you anymore.
Also, we have a VA, not just recommend 40 hours away.
That's doable. It's doable.
How much do you have?
Well, it depends. It's like usually 45 products a day. Yeah, so what you can do is not only have them do just the OA like the just finding products, but have them do the OA process too. So like finding like the website discount and the discounted gift card and the cash back, and then have them source on tactical arbitrage and find the products and narrow that down, because that might be a job that could be 40 hours if you do that. And then also if you want to have them do other things like wholesale or some logistical things, that can also kind of equate to that 40 hours. It all depends on what your spending power is. If you have enough money to have someone work for you full-time doing OA, then by all means definitely do it. But if you don't, you can have them do part-time and kind of see how it goes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if you wanted to do
There's some people that do it. It's questionable though, like per product. It never really works out well, but there are some people that do it. So they pay them like per whatever they find. It's just weird. It's weird. I mean, because you could have someone that's just getting you products just to like get products, and then you could have someone who's actually really good at it. There have been people that have successfully done it in the past. It's just not something that we recommend. Like there are some people that do like for preppers. They pay their preppers how much they can prep instead of per hour. That's also something that we don't recommend doing. But there are people that do it and they recommend it. Same thing with RA sourcers. There are people that pay them based on the products they find, not on the hours they work. So it is something that you can do, but it just is just one of those things. Yep. Yes, Barbara. Mm-hmm. It depends. So at first I would recommend steering them pretty well. And then, and it depends on their skill set, because we have some VAs that have experience or they know what they're doing. So they will kind of go on their own to find different leads for new products. We do train them to do this, but I would kind of start off with that guidance at first. So I might say, give them a list of stores and say, look in the shoe category or the clothing category. These are some of the big selling products that I want you to look at. Just guide them a little bit at first. All right, are there any other questions? Yes, the cost price, they can do that. Now, I would recommend that you train them first and be comfortable with them doing that, because if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they can jack stuff up. People ask us all the time if we have VAs do their repricing. And that's something that I would say that only have the most experienced VA do, and someone that you've done serious heavy training with, maybe for like a period of time before you give them that task. But we do have people that have their VAs put in their cost price into Inventory Lab. Yes, so you will have to share all of your information with the VA for them to work on your account. What you can do is you can get LastPass, which is what we actually use in the office. It is a password manager, and what it is you can put all of your passwords in there, and you can create accounts and then give people limited access to what a password is. So they won't be able to see the password unless you give them that functionality to be able to see that password. So to use LastPass, there is a master password. Only a couple of people in this office actually have the master password for our LastPass. I have it, Ike has it, Sam rarely has it. I have to text it to him all the time. So if everyone needs to get in the LastPass, me and Ike have to go around the office and put it into everybody's computer so that they have access. Now, if they have their own account, they can log into their account and they'll be able to log in, but they won't see what that password is. So if you are using VAs and you're worried about them being able to see what your passwords are, then I would recommend looking into LastPass. And you probably want, and it's not crazy expensive. I think it's like $10 a month or something like that.
The LastPass is just, we use the password for 24 hours.
No, so it'll be the same password, just the person that has the account, you can limit their access to it. For example,
So I'm using Prepper, so I'm looking out in Florida. Facility.
Yep.
So I'm going to give them access for whatever.
Yeah.
LastPass.
Yep, so let me show you here. So this is my information to log into my email. Can't see the password. I would have to click on this because I have access to be able to see the password. Now, if I was the VA and I had limited access, I wouldn't be able to see the password. So for example, let me go to a website and show you guys what I mean. So I'm going to go to Time Doctor. So you see how I go into the login right here and it says login using this? Don't see the password. Login. That's how it works. Yep. Yep. Can't see what it is.